Raymond's best friend. And Rollins.
Seth is trying to strike a deal. Get out.
The WWE Universe was set on fire. Monday night, April 29th, 2025, as Raw delivered one of the most jaw-dropping episodes in recent memory. If anyone thought WWE had lost the magic of surprise, they were in for a shock. The evening was filled with monumental moments, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared us for what transpired during the main event. After years away from the WWE spotlight, Dean Ambrose made his electrifying return, saving Roman Reigns from a vicious beatdown at the hands of Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. This wasn't just a return, it was a declaration of war. Let's break down everything that happened, every twist and turn, and what this historic moment means for WWE's future. The energy in the arena, the calm before the storm. From the moment the show began, you could feel something special in the air. Backstage whispers were swirling. The crowd was buzzing with anticipation, and the entire arena seemed charged with an energy that hinted at something extraordinary. As fans filled the sold-out arena, you could hear the speculation rise. Would tonight be the night we witnessed something truly historic? The WWE roster was packed with heavy hitters, legends like John Cena and Randy Orton, champions like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and the towering force of Bron Breakker, all in one place. But it wasn't just the talent that had everyone on edge. There were rumors, whispers of a return from someone who had been out of WWE for years, leaving fans hanging on every word. Cena versus Orton, a legendary rivalry, reignited. The first significant moment of the night came when John Cena and Randy Orton renewed their bitter rivalry. Two legends with chips on their shoulders, both looking to prove they still owned the WWE. The tension was palpable when the two men entered the ring for a contract signing ahead of their undisputed WWE Championship match at Backlash 2025. Cena walked to the ring with an air of intensity, his face unwavering. No smiles, no crowd-pleasing gestures, just business. Orton, ever the calculating veteran, took his time, savoring every second of Cena's rising anger. The contract signing quickly devolved into chaos. Orton tried to play mind games, reminding Cena of every time he had left him broken in the ring. But Cena wasn't having it. In a sudden burst of rage, Cena flipped the contract table, launching himself at Orton. Fists flew in a wild brawl, spilling outside the ring as Cena finally got the upper hand. He hoisted Orton onto his shoulders and delivered a brutal attitude adjustment right through the contract signing table. The crowd erupted into chants of Cena. As Cena stood victorious, the signed contract raised high in the air like a trophy. Gunther and Pat McAfee, a heated feud. Brewing backstage, Jey Uso, the newly crowned World Heavyweight Champion, was fresh off an incredible victory against Gunther in a war that had shaken the WWE Universe to its core. But Gunther wasn't one to take defeat lightly. Just a week ago, he attacked commentator Pat McAfee in a blind rage. And tonight, McAfee, showing incredible heart, called out the Austrian powerhouse on live TV, demanding they settle their differences like men. What followed was an absolute mugging. Gunther stormed to the ring, brutalizing McAfee with ease, but McAfee refused to stay down, showing a level of fight that rallied the entire crowd behind him. Officials eventually separated the two, but the message was clear. Pat McAfee wasn't backing down, and a match at Backlash was all but confirmed. Meanwhile, Jey Uso wasn't left waiting for a challenger long. Sami Zayn, fresh off his dramatic return, confronted Jey in the locker room area. The air was thick with tension. Zayn, with a wry smile, simply said, "Backlash. Me and you. Let's see who the real champion is." No further words were needed as the match was unofficially set. The fans went wild, knowing this was going to be an absolute battle. Becky Lynch's descent into darkness. On the women's side, Becky Lynch continued her shocking heel turn, spiraling deeper into darkness. She targeted Lyra Valkyria backstage, ambushing her mercilessly. Becky slammed Lyra into equipment crates with savage force, leaving her lying in a heap of destruction. It was clear that Becky was willing to destroy anyone who stood in her way. Later in the night, it was confirmed Becky Lynch would face Lyra Valkyria at Backlash for the WWE Intercontinental Women's Championship. This wasn't just a match, it was personal. The hatred between the two had reached new explosive heights. Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor, a grudge match fueled by betrayal. Dominic Mysterio, still fresh into his Intercontinental Championship reign, found himself caught in chaos. His title defense was barely underway when Finn Balor, his former Judgment Day brother, ambushed him during an interview. Finn accused Dominic of betraying the group, of forgetting who made him a champion. What followed was a brutal backstage brawl that saw equipment knocked over and staff scrambling to break up the fight. The two were separated, but it was clear that a grudge match between the two would be inevitable. Later, it was announced that at Backlash, Dominic would defend his Intercontinental Championship against Finn Balor in a match fueled by betrayal and broken trust. The main event, Roman Reigns and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. But as explosive as all of these moments were, nothing could have prepared the WWE Universe for the main event. Roman Reigns and CM Punk, united by a common enemy, faced off against the powerhouse duo of Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. The atmosphere in the arena was electric with anticipation. The tension was thick. Two of WWE's most polarizing figures, Roman and Punk, against two of the most dangerous men in the company. Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker had proven themselves capable of destroying anyone in their path, and tonight would be no different. The match was an all-out war. Punk and Rollins reignited their long-standing feud, their punches filled with years of pent-up aggression. Breakker, the powerhouse, tossed Roman around like a rag doll, showing off his brutal strength. But Roman, ever the champion, absorbed the punishment and fought back with a ferocity that matched his legacy. Just when it seemed like Roman and Punk were gaining the upper hand, Paul Heyman appeared at ringside, the mastermind behind Rollins and Breakker's team. Heyman clapped slowly, a sinister smile never leaving his face. The distraction was all it took for a masked man to appear, jumping over the barricade to join the attack. The mystery man helped Rollins and Breakker continue their brutal assault on Roman, leaving Punk buried under the rubble of the announce table. Roman, alone and outnumbered, was being demolished in the ring. The moment that changed everything, the return of Dean Ambrose. And then the lights flickered, the screen glitched, the sound of a familiar heartbeat echoed throughout the arena. The crowd stood to their feet, sensing something monumental was about to unfold. And then, without warning, the unmistakable sound of Dean Ambrose's old theme blared through the speakers, and the building shook with excitement. Fans erupted into a frenzy as Dean Ambrose, wearing his iconic black tactical gear, stormed through the crowd. His eyes were wild, his body radiating pure adrenaline. Ambrose hit the ring like a man possessed. Without hesitation, he took out the mystery man with a flying clothesline. Bron Breakker charged at him, but Ambrose ducked and hit a vicious dirty deeds, planting Breakker face first into the mat. Seth Rollins froze in shock for just a second, but Ambrose was ready. He unloaded on Seth with a barrage of punches, backing him into the corner. Ambrose then grabbed a steel chair and swung it with ruthless aggression, forcing Rollins and his allies to retreat in fear. Roman Reigns, battered and bloodied, slowly pulled himself to his feet. As he looked around, his gaze fell on Dean Ambrose, standing tall and offering his hand. For a brief moment, Roman hesitated. The history between them was long and complicated, from their time as the Shield to the betrayals, the wars, and the tension. But in that moment, everything came rushing back. Roman grabbed Dean's hand, and the two stood side by side. The crowd went absolutely wild as chants of, "This is awesome," and "Welcome back, Dean," filled the air. A new brotherhood is born. As Paul Heyman watched from the stage, stunned and speechless, it was clear his master plan had just blown up in his face. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose stood united in the ring, and with CM Punk by their side, a new brotherhood was rising. This wasn't the Shield, but it didn't need to be. The bond between Roman and Ambrose had been reignited by a shared hatred for Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, and whoever their mystery ally might be. Raw went off the air with Roman and Ambrose standing tall, a sight no one ever thought they'd see again. Backlash 2025. A war for WWE's future. Backlash 2025 is shaping up to be the most explosive event of the year. The landscape of WWE has shifted dramatically, and the return of Dean Ambrose is just the beginning. A new war has been declared, one that could reshape the entire future of the company. Roman Reigns is no longer alone, and with CM Punk and Dean Ambrose by his side, the stakes have never been higher. One thing is for certain, WWE will never be the same again.